Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you are doing great and taking care of yourself. We are on journey of learning SQL for the beginners, and in today's video we are going to have a demo session of how to install the Oracle database on AWS RDS. If you are new to this channel, I do share my experience through this YouTube channel on DevOps tools like Jenkins, Ansible, Terraform, and recently I have uploaded the shell scripting series for the beginners where I have walked through all the basic commands, how to write the your first shell script, and I have also created a mini project on the cafe. So do go and watch that playlist of shell scripting for beginners, and if you think it has added the value to your current skill set, then do not forget to subscribe and share that with your friends. With that said, today we are going to use AWS Management Console for installing the Oracle database on AWS RDS. If you don't have an AWS account or you are new to AWS, I have basically created a playlist of how to create your first AWS account step by step in the playlist of cloud technology. So do go and watch that. Without much further delay, let's get into demo session. So guys, as you can see on my screen that I have logged into the AWS Management Console. So first time when you log into AWS Management Console, this is what you will s- uh, see, or this is how the screen will look like, where on the left hand side it has welcome to AWS, the AWS health, cost and usage, etc. So now we are interested on the left corner where you see the services. As soon as I click on it, it starts listing me the services offered by AWS. You have compute, you have containers, you have database, end user computing, machine learning, and other stuff. We are interested on the database. As soon as I click on that database, you can see on the right side the list of databases offered by AWS. So for non-SQL, you have Amazon DocumentDB, you have DynamoDB, but we are interested in the RDS, and which is the first one, where it says Aurora and the RDS, which is Managed Relational Database Service. What that means? This means that the infrastructure of server database, installing of Oracle database on the server, patching activity, everything is taken care by the Amazon, and that's what we are going to use. So let's just click on RDS, and the moment I click that, you can see the dashboard of RDS starts populating, and you can see we have a dashboard, databases, query editor, snapshots, automatic backups, reserve instances, etc. In the middle section, you will see the number of instances which are up and running, the clusters, the snapshots, etc. That's what how the Amazon RDS dashboard looks like. We are interested little bit down, you can see there is something called has the create database, and that's what we are going to use to install our Oracle on AWS RDS instance. So let's just click on create database, and the moment I click that, you can see you have an optional standard create and easy create. Easy create and the standard create differences is that as soon as you select easy create, the Amazon would start giving you a suggestions of how and what needs to be taken care while creating the database. But with the standard create, you have an options of selecting your availability, security, backups and maintenance stuff. So that's what we are going to choose. And if you see, we have the list of engine options. We have MySQL, we have Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, IBM DB2, and lot of other things. But we are interested in Oracle. So the moment I click that, on the right hand side you can see Oracle database is a relational database management system developed by Oracle. The Amazon RDS makes it easy to set up, operate, and scale the Oracle database deployments in the cloud. With Amazon RDS, you can deploy multiple editions of Oracle database in minutes with a cost efficient and resizable hardware capacity. So that's what we have selected. And then we have something called as a database management type, and here we are going to basically select the Amazon RDS. We are not going to select the Amazon RDS custom because that will give you an access to the operating system, and then you can customize your database accordingly. But we will select Amazon RDS. That means it's fully managed and controlled by the AWS. Then we have something called as a architecture settings. For now, in our demo session we are going to use a simple architecture where we will be deploying the Oracle database on an AWS RDS instance in the one easy zone. Okay, then we have something called as an edition. You have Oracle Enterprise Edition, you have Oracle Standard Edition 2. So we are going to select the um, Oracle Enterprise Edition. We don't want, let's select the Oracle Standard Edition. The moment I select that, it populates with the couple of options. One is bring your own license included, and then it has the engine versions. So right now it is giving me the 19c version which is available. And then we have something called as a templates. Since we are going to have this for our demo session, we are going to select dev and test. Once we select that, then it gives you an option to basically give the name of your database. So I'm going to basically write here first DB. Okay, because we are creating for the first time. Then it has the credential settings. So you have number of options. You can use the AWS Secret Manager to manage your password, or you can basically select the self manage, and that's what we are going to select. So I'm going to type the password. Just a sec, it's typing. Okay, and then it gives you an instance configuration, which kind of instance you want. So we are going to go with a blushable classes, because we are going to use very small instance type for our demo purpose. But if you are in the production, then you can go with standard classes, memory optimized classes for high computing and other stuff. So right now let's just select the db dot T3 small, which have the two CPUs and 2 gig of RAM. And here the storage, we are going to select the GP2. We are using this for our demo purpose, so we don't need 200 gigs. We just need a 20 gig just for that. And then you can go and select any additional storage configuration. Since this is a demo session, we are not going to enable any auto scaling, neither we are going to enable any availability zone or kind of thing The connectivity, we are going to not select anything here because we are not going to connect through ec2 instance. We are directly going to access the rds by using the endpoint. Don't worry, I'm going to show you that down the line. And then you have your vpc region, which I have selected defaultly, so everything is default. And here I'm going to select the public access, which will assign the public IP to my AWS RDS instance type. And then if you have a security group, you can select that. Otherwise, we can select that later on, because we want to make sure that we basically have an inbound rule set up to access our AWS RDS instance. So don't worry, we'll select that later on, but as of now, just leave it availability zone where you want. So I am basically using the North Virginia region, which is US East 1A availability zone. And then we'll go down additional configuration. So for Oracle, the default port is 1521. So that's what we are selecting here. Everything remains default. If you want any tags to be assigned to your AWS RDS instance, you can do that. Right now I don't need anything. I'm not going to enable the performance insight, neither I'm going to enable any monitoring of it, enhanced monitoring. I don't need anything, neither I have. Okay, so now if you go down it, I don't need any backups because this is for our demo purpose. Nothing has an encryption. So backup monitoring, etc., if you're using the production, then you need to select that, because you need to make sure you have the backups of your database in the case of disaster recovery or anything. So now I'm going to basically give the name to the database. So I will use the same thing, first db. Okay, everything is default here. Character set we have selected, nothing. And if you are using first time the AWS account, you will not see this, since my account is older than 1 year. That's why it's basically giving me a charge of it. But if you are new, you haven't used your AWS account, have created first time, you will have no charge for that. So now, without much further delay, let's just hit the create database. Once we hit the create database, it takes about few minutes to create your first database. So we will be resuming back in a few minutes. So friends, as you can see on screen, our first DB is now become available successfully to get access. So moment I click on the first DB, you will see the summary of it. So summary says the DB identifier which we selected was the first DB, status is available, what is the instance type, which is db.t3 small, what was the region and availability zone, which is US East 1A, what is the engine, Oracle standard edition 2. And you have certain tabs down it. You have a connectivity and security tab, and in that, the first important point for us is to know to how to access our RDS instance is the endpoint, and which we are going to use it to connect through SQL developer. The port is 1521, and then it has a VPC subnets, a couple of other information. Then we have something called as a monitoring. Since we selected the basic monitoring, you will see the basic stats of in the CloudWatch about CPU utilization, etc. There would be a lot of information like burst balance, CPU credit usage, etc. Let's not get into detail, but then you have something called as a log and events. You will have the status of how was the database created and other stuff. The logs would be there where you can read it and see how it was created, what version was it applied, and etc. I will not get into much detail of it. Then you have something as a configuration. Remember the configuration which we selected at the time. What will be the identifier name, what would be the instance type, what is the storage type, how much storage it would have, whether we have encrypted that, whether we have select enable the enhanced monitoring, whether we have enabled the performance insights, etc. You will have all that information. Also, you see here we have the master username and the password. Here we haven't selected multi-easy because this is a demo purpose, so we are going to basically deploy this in only one web multi-zone. But if it would be in production, you would have selected the multi-easy in the case of disaster recovery. Right, then you have maintenance and backup. Since we haven't selected maintenance and backup, nothing is populating here. Then tag, we did not assign any tag to our AWS RDS instance, so it's not there. Then we have something called as a recommendations. So now we are much interested in accessing the AWS RDS instance through Oracle SQL Developer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this, and in a moment I'm going to show you how to access that through SQL Developer. So stay tuned for a minute. So friends, I have already installed the Oracle SQL developer on my machine. If you don't know how to install it, I'm going to share a link in the video description where you can hit the link, download the compressed file, and then uncompress it and open the application. So this is how the Oracle SQL developer interface looks like. So what we are going to do here is we are going to click here on the plus sign and select the new database connection. So as soon as you select that, it a window opens where you need to type the DB identifier name, in which in our case is first DB, and then we are going to type the username, which is admin, okay, in our case, and the password. And this is where the you're going to type the endpoint what we have selected from the AWS management console by hitting the first DB. So I'm going to enter that, and the SID in this case would be ORCL. So now let's hit the test button to see what happens. And you see on the screen it has started giving us the connection failed. Why we got this? Remember, I told you that we need to set up the security group to allow the inbound traffic to AWS RDS instance. So that's what we are going to do now. But before that, let's get the IP address of our local machine, which can be your desktop, a laptop, and the command for that is ipconfig slash all. You need to type that on your command prompt, and as soon as you type that, you get an IP4 address, and that's what I'm going to basically pick for me, for myself, and put that into a security group to allow the traffic to my SQL developer, so that I can access the AWS RDS instance. So let's get into that in a minute. So friends, I have added my IP address as an inbound to the security group called as DB Oracle, which you can see on the screen. And once I have added that, I have tested a connection. Let me show you that in a minute. So friends, as you can see, we have got the connection has success. The status of the connection has success, which was immediately after we have added the inbound rule through security group, which allows us to access the AWS RDS instance. So now, since the connection is successful, let's execute one or two queries to see whether we get the result of that in a minute. So here is my query builder. What I'm going to do here is quickly execute select star from v dollar database and execute that. And if you see, we get a result where the name is ORCL, which is nothing but a SID. How can you verify that? Go to first DB, click on properties, and you see we have a SID as ORCL. So that's what is the name when it was created, what is the log mode, what is the checkpoint, and other stuff you will have here. And what is its role? We'll see it has a primary, right? Whether the remote archive is activated, yes, enable it. What is the open mode, which is read and write. You can also use select star from v dollar sessions to see how many sessions have been open currently on this database. So let's just execute this. Okay, it is v dollar session, not the section. And if you see, it gives us the result that these all sections have been open and the status is activate dedicated. Out of them, the few are sys schema, few are admin RDS schema, etc. So that's what helps us to basically use the RDS instance through Oracle SQL. You don't need to worry about installing an Oracle on your local machine, take care of the patching and etc. With the help of AWS RDS, we can get that headache from our head transferred to the AWS, where they will be taking care of your patching activity, your maintenance activity, auto backups, and etc. I hope this session was and helpful, and if it has really added value to your current skill set, then do not forget it to share with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos coming in the upcoming weeks, where we will be talking about DDL statements, DML statements. We will be also talking about grant, revoke statements, and lot of other things are coming up to our journey of learning SQL for the beginners. Until then, take care. Bye bye.